Hi, welcome to Sage Blue Tarot Reiki. My name is Sage, and today I'm going to do a tarot reading, maybe with some oracle cards for the collective. I'm going to ask, what does collective need to hear today? What does collective need to hear today? It kind of feels like they're taking their time to tell me. What does collective need to hear today? Maybe that's part of the message, right? Take a moment to pause and reflect as you wait for your answer. Having patience. All right, what does collective need to hear today? All right, and I'm going to cut the deck and see what comes out. All right, we have the Page of Wands. So to me, this energy is about just like very youthful, right? Very much into almost expectant, kind of thinking, well, what can I do? What are my abilities? You're kind of having an aspect of yourself be very exploratory, trying to figure out, oh, like, what is my power, right? What are my powers? What can I grow? What ways can I move? Very much into new beginnings, right? Maybe you've been bestowed new beginnings or a new invitation or an open door of some way that you're trying to step into and realizing, like, what can we do here, right? How am I going to show up? What am I going to start? Can we collaborate? Like, what's going on? It's the very beginning stages of that. We have the Three of Cups reversed. So I'm seeing that there is a reshuffling of community. Maybe a very quiet celebration, maybe very intimate, just kind of with yourself, right? Like whatever you've accomplished recently isn't going to be something that's going to be cause for like a big party or a big event where everyone's going to be like, wow, like you did it, amazing, or like a big birthday party. But it is going to be almost just kind of a quiet but still really fulfilling sit down at home where you're going to be kind of looking around like, you know what, this is really nice too. Like I can make my own coffee, get my own little cake over here, kind of treat myself to the things that I enjoy, right? These simple luxuries. It almost feels like it's a quiet celebration, but it doesn't mean it's any less meaningful, right? So it kind of seems that, yeah, because with community, you don't always need everybody celebrating every single accomplishment that you do, but it is worth, like, it is worth for you to kind of celebrate yourself, right? Because you do accomplish many things every day. So whenever you do hit these milestones that are even just for yourself or your own personal goals, just acknowledge them, right? Because they are worthy of celebration. The Nine of Wands upright. So this card to me is about your boundaries. To me, it feels like right now you're feeling really stable. You're feeling like your boundaries are healthy. Maybe you've had a period of reintegration and having them come down and having to fix them, having to patch up holes and walls and or maybe you've met people, right? Because with the Page of Wands, you've entered these new situations where you're like, okay, like let's play, right? But maybe you've realized like, oh, actually I need a boundary here within myself. I need a boundary with the way that I engage with this person, with this group. I need a boundary with the way that I show up. So I kind of feel like you've put in the work and you're still in although you're kind of, I don't know, I kind of sense that you're maybe like tired. You're like, oh my gosh, like this is a lot of work. But that's kind of how boundary work is, right? It almost feels like it's an investment. You're investing in yourself. And when you do boundary work, you're getting to know yourself and your needs because your needs are always changing. Of course, they have a general theme: safety, abundance, community, fulfilling your purpose and finding your purpose and sharing it. But all of this, right, is the theme, and boundaries are the way to get you there, right? They're almost like the stepping stone, as you move through life, right? Because we're always interacting with the world at all times. And then whenever you're doing boundary work, it's almost like a requirement for you to be aware, right? To be aware of where you are, what your place is, and the way that you're moving and engaging with others, because that's changing as your internal world is changing, right? As you're going further on these stepping stones of life, on your own goals and milestones, you are having to kind of pause, right? You step up, you pause, you look around. Are these boundaries still good? Do I still feel safe? Do I still feel like this is healthy? If not, let me readjust. Maybe that didn't feel so good. Maybe let me go ahead and readjust. In the future, moving forward, now I'm ready. So I just do sense that you're actually able and energized and willing to put in this work. And I feel like that in itself is maybe a cause for private celebration, because in the past you might not have, it almost feels like you've done the boundary work or the adjustments needed at a much faster pace than before, right? With that wands of energy, it's very fiery, it's very quick, it's very much just on it immediately, right? There's no delay. But maybe with boundary work, it isn't a cause for community celebration, right? Because maybe the boundary work is with your community, right? So it does feel kind of, yeah, it feels like it's like that, like just kind of, but do celebrate yourself, right? Do celebrate this boundary work that you're doing, because it is constant and it's always going to be helping you and others as well, right? Whenever you feel that you're being respected and that you're safe, right? Then you feel safe enough to share, right? To show up authentically. And then you also know your own triggers, right? You know when something's been crossed, and then an alarm bell goes off within you that says, you know what, this is not good for me. I need to retreat. I need to readjust. I need to reassess. And this does require a lot of work, right? But it is like in this internal landscape, that this internal world of yours. The Queen of Wands reversed. So with this card, because it's reversed, I'm seeing that there's just going to be a lot of second guessing of yourself, right? If this is about you, this is going to be a lot of second guessing about yourself, about what direction you're moving. I also kind of sense like maybe discomfort, maybe when you're in this new community or kind of in this ruling power. I kind of feel like you have so much power to you in your own domain, but right now you're entering this period of self-doubt, or maybe, yeah, others are kind of questioning your authority. Like, well, how do you know that? How do you know? Like, prove it. And because it's more of it has a black cat on it, which to me is about this intuitive shadow side, it's almost difficult to put into words the inner work that you're doing. You can try, you can say things like, well, I'm doing shadow work, I've studied the subconscious, I do boundary work, right? But I feel like if people are trying to ask you to prove things, right? Prove things that are in the etheric realm, trying to prove things that are in the unseen realm, and maybe trying to knock you off your throne and say, well, you can't prove it, so it's not real, right? So what you're saying doesn't make sense. So I do sense that you're kind of feeling a little bit just like upheaval, right? I'm kind of sensing that you're like, am I not standing on shaky ground? But the thing is, you know that you are. You know that the foundations that you built for yourself are healthy for you, but it almost feels like now that you're with this group, this engagement, and you're actually feeling this kind of retreat mode with that Three of Cups reversed, you're kind of seeing, okay, well, how do I share with others? Do I need to prove to them anything? How do I stand by myself, right? And by yourself doesn't mean how do I stand alone, but it does mean literally like how do I stand by myself, right? How do I support myself in order to engage with the world, right? But I do kind of sense that there is just a lot of boundary work going on right now. And if this isn't you, this could be somebody in your, I don't know, just nearby, right? This could be a coworker, someone in a new friendship circle, someone in a new group or something, someone that's around you that maybe feels threatened by you. And it's kind of shady, right? It doesn't mean that they're a bad person, right? But it does kind of mean that maybe because they're threatened by you, they want you to prove yourself. They want you to show up in a way that they want you to show up, right? It's almost like they're trying to put you into a cookie cutter box. They're trying to label you. And you're not somebody that can be labeled easily. It's almost like you need multiple labels, but they're upset with that. They're kind of like, no, you need to choose one. Like you need to do this, or you need to do that. So this could just be kind of like a shady person, kind of like the energy of a frenemy, someone who's kind of, it's almost like someone sees you standing in your power and can just sense that you're a powerful person. and they feel threatened by that. So instead of seeing, oh, cool, another powerful person, amazing, awesome, we like that, we need that, they're almost kind of threatened by it, and they kind of think with the old mentality of, you know what, there isn't enough for everybody. There can only be one queen here. So it kind of feels like there's like almost like this battle. And because you have this Page of Wands youthful energy, right, I feel like you're just very excited about the world. You're excited about what you're learning, but at the same time, you're not afraid to be alone. And that in itself gives you a lot of inner strength, right? That you just radiate that from you, right? This independence, this sovereignty, this self-empowerment. And I kind of sense that it's not causing you problems, because these aren't real problems, but they are almost like challenges, like obstacles that people are trying to put into your way. I also sense that they're just opportunities for growth for you, right? Like I mentioned earlier with boundary work, kind of seeing, okay, do I want to engage with this person? How do I want to engage with them? Do I limit that time? How do I answer the questions that they're posing to me, right? So and it almost seems like the questions that they are posing to you, or the challenges that they're bringing up within you, are causing you to have inner growth happening, right? Which is also that Three of Cups reverse energy. It's like a celebration still. People are trying to put obstacles in your path and trying to challenge you and trying to knock you off your throne and really make you question your own power. But because you have this foundation in place and this fiery energy, you're actually taking this as a tool, right? You're kind of seeing like, you know what? Well, what can I learn from this? What can I take away from the way that I'm interacting? Do I like this? Do I feel respected? How am I going to grow, right? So it's interesting that even as people try to knock you off your path, you're still growing. It's like very meta, right? You're actually seeing like, well, how can this too help me grow? Which I think is a really healthy mindset. The Hermit, right? So to me, the Hermit is about that internal work, finding your own light and then following it, right? And with the Hermit, I feel like this is just a really strong archetype, because it just, to me, it's this individual who has mastered all the realms, the physical, the spiritual, emotional. Every single realm has mastered it, has climbed the mountain, is at the top. And it's just, I see this image of an individual in these robes holding a light in front of him and surrounded by darkness, but also at the very top of a mountain, right? So it almost feels like this grand feeling, this very deep feeling of isolation, but also not loneliness, because you have yourself, you have your light, you have your own inner guidance that you're following, and you don't really need to be proving that to anybody. You don't really need to be, like selling it to the world. Like, you know what, my light has really helped me. My light has showed me the way. My light. If they don't want to hear, if they're not asking, if they're not nurturing you, if they're not genuinely wanting to know, you don't need to share. You don't need to prove things to everybody, to anybody. And I kind of sense that you would really benefit from a time of just retreat, right? Retreating and kind of patching up boundaries, kind of answering questions for yourself, kind of seeing what's going on within you, because I do feel that on some level, people are an external representation of ourselves, right? So it almost feels like this Queen of Wands has kind of come up into your life to challenge yourself and your belief systems. Like, what do you believe, right? Would you rather be liked by everybody, or would you rather just like yourself, right? If you had to choose. And I kind of feel like these recent interactions have brought up just kind of a bit of a turmoil, a bit of an earthquake within you, right? You're like, oh, okay, interesting. Why am I being challenged? Why do I feel this way? And just retreat, tap into that Hermit archetype, right? That all-knowing wisdom where the answers just come in. I kind of feel like this is an invitation for this next level up, this next step. The King of Wands reversed. So it's interesting to me that the King of Wands came up also reversed, and I see it sandwiching the Hermit, right? So I kind of feel like there's this pressure. This could be from multiple individuals, male and female, where you're kind of feeling like maybe at first you felt supported, but now you're kind of feeling like you need to stand your ground, but you need to stand your ground in a way that doesn't mean I'm going to fight you, like we're going to argue. It kind of means like, you know what, I'm going to stand in my power and I'm going to remove myself, because I do kind of sense that there is just a lot of energy, masculine and feminine, just kind of attacking you, right? I kind of sense just like a lot of tension. Maybe it's causing you to feel lonely, but at the same time, your boundaries are up. So I feel like because your boundaries are up, to me that they're kind of feelers, right? It's kind of like this this aura, this energy field, a fence, right? So when someone crosses it, either emotionally or spiritually or physically, you can sense. You could just sense it, right? It sets off alarm bells like, hey, someone's crossed your fence, someone's crossed your boundary, or someone's in your bubble right now, right? In any type of bubble, they're in it. And I feel like to you, yeah, I just sense a lot of that happening right now. You're kind of maybe surprised by it, like it kind of stepped into it. You kind of told yourself, you know what, it happens. All right, let me just readjust that. Let me refix that. Let me get them out of my boundary. But it kind of seems like while you were doing that, somebody else is trying to step in and trying to, I just kind of feel like I don't want to freak you out, right? But you are kind of being challenged right now. I do sense that you're kind of being maybe kind of messed with, kind of toyed with. I want to say attacked, but I don't think it's vicious, but I don't think it's friendly either. I just kind of sense it as like very testing, right? Like you're being tested right now. And it just kind of feels like it's a lot of stressful energy. And you know what? With that Three of Cups reversed, it kind of feels like it's within your own community that you were really celebratory with, that you were really enjoying things with and time with. But as you've gotten to know this group of people or these individuals, they've kind of, I feel like it kind of feels like they've turned on you, right? And then you've had to remember that, hey, your power does not lie in other people. Your power lies in yourself, right? We're interdependent creatures. This means that we are responsible for ourselves and the way we show up with others. And ideally, others would be healthy too. So, and doing the type of work so we would show up authentically for each other in a supportive way without kind of throwing our mess, our drama, our stress on other people. But I do sense a little bit that you're being tested, that you're kind of being knocked around a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it feels kind of stressful, but the Hermit card is just saying, you know what, move away. Move away, right? If it's not for you right now, maybe it's for you later. Maybe this was the journey. Maybe this was the lesson. Maybe this is what you need to take away. Just move away. You don't have all the answers right now, and that's okay, right? The Hermit is patiently waiting, looking into that light and asking questions, waiting for things to be revealed, walking around in the darkness, holding this light and shining as much light as possible into what he cannot see, right? So things are not revealed to you just yet. You might feel confused. You might not know why people are acting like this, why they're doing this, because I feel like sometimes you might be thinking like why are you doing this? What is the purpose of this? But I do sense that maybe the purpose is just to almost just reunite yourself with your light. Not that you were ever far from it or away from it, because it's within you, but almost to remind you like, hey, you know what? Tap into that power. Tap into your power of isolation, because these people have brought up some challenges for you, right? And what do we do with challenges? Ideally, we take them and we learn from them. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a couple more cards. The Six of Wands upright. So I feel like this is going to be happening after a period of just being alone, right? Of just kind of sitting with yourself and really kind of recouping. But I do feel like when you come back, you're going to be so, I don't know, I kind of sense you're going to be like inspirational for others, and just kind of celebrated, right? Because I do feel like you're being tested. It almost feels, that you've come up on this new group. It's felt really great. You were really welcomed. Everything was great. But then the king and queen of the group kind of turned on you, right? Or maybe they were always kind of like two-faced, or threatened, or something caused them to change with you, and they were threatened by you, and they wanted to kind of challenge you, right? Put pressure on you to either assimilate, to agree with them, to prove yourself, kind of just pushing more buttons, right? They're trying to get to know you, who you are, through these tests, right? Through questioning, through almost threatening you to feel like an outsider. But when you take some time, I think with that Hermit card, just, you know what, I'm tapping out. I'm going to just take a break, come back whenever you feel ready. And when you do, you'll be respected because of that, right? Because I kind of feel like this is a test that they put up on everybody, that they kind of test people like, well, how do you respond to challenge, right? Let me challenge you. And I kind of feel like if you respond by just pulling yourself away, respecting yourself, doing your boundary work the thing is, when you pull yourself away, you are honoring your boundaries. You are doing that. And I do think that that's something that isn't very common, right? I feel like sometimes people are very much lulled, motivated, seduced by the idea of community, that they're willing to give up their boundaries, right? It's kind of like this codependent energy where they're like, you know what, let me just please you, right? And they forget about themselves, right? Because they've lost their boundaries. They've just given those up. But I feel like you're not willing to do that. And right now you're being invited by the universe to just kind of pull away, retreat, reassess, reinforce, readjust, and still be in your own power, right? When you come back, people will really admire that. And I feel like it'll be really inspirational because you're kind of coming back out of your own choice, out of your own free will, right? You're not coming back because you're looking for acceptance. You're not looking for anyone to say you're worthy. You're not looking for that, right? You found it. You're the hermit. You know that you have the power. You have the light. You're tapping into your spiritual tools. When you come back, it'll just be like, oh, okay, I guess you retreated. Why? What were you doing? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna, I don't know what you're gonna answer, but you're gonna come back just empowered, right? You're gonna know what the answers are because you will have spent time looking for them, right? You'll know how you want to interact with people. You'll know how you want to show up. Let's see. On the back, we have the Seven of Wands. To me, this card is about, standing your ground, but at the same time, you are in the image, you're on the ledge, you're above these people that are kind of just poking up at you, right? You're holding one wand, and there's 6 wands just poking up at you, trying to knock you down, right? Trying to make you insecure, trying to kind of, it's almost like people are trying to find the kinks in your armor, right? They're like, what are your weaknesses? What triggers you? What's going on? Is it this? Is it that? Is it this? And I feel like if people aren't spiritually mature, right, there can kind of be this mindset of kind of like whenever you're like, I don't know, in school, right, and there's like the popular kids and the not popular kids, and like this catty behavior of like friendship, and I kind of sense that you're kind of maybe dealing with that, but on an adult level, so it's different. But at the very bottom, if you look within and you look really into it, into the systems at place, you can kind of see that that's still what's going on. It's kind of like this childish energy of like battle and fighting, and I do sense that you're just being challenged right now, right? Because it's on the bottom of the deck. I do sense that's the underlying general theme. People trying to knock you off balance, and multiple people, right? There's 6 wands, and the queen and the king came up, right? And it just kind of feels like there's a lot going on, but you're standing in your power, right? You're standing at this vantage point where you're like, you know what? How do I keep that down, right? And that to me is standing up for yourself, having the boundary work, pulling away when you need to, not being afraid of what that looks like for others, realizing that you don't need people's approval to be okay within yourself, that's actually where the growth is going to come from. Let me go ahead and pull, let me see. What do I feel like pulling from the oracle cards? Let me pull from the Super Attractor deck. Let's see what comes up. It's been a bit since I've pulled oracle cards. What does collective need to hear today? Oh, card that just slipped out. I accept that good things come easily. I am a super attractor. Great. So to me, that card is about, you know what, you don't need to do battle to get the things you want, right? You don't need to give up anything you don't want to give up in order to fit in. You don't need to just do the extra work, right? It's almost like you're reminded that whatever you are, you're attracting, right? And I kind of feel like right now is just the time to withdraw, to be with yourself, to sit with yourself, to meditate, to analyze, to do things that make you happy, have your quiet celebrations, work on your boundaries, and then remember that you are a magnet for your reality, right? So it almost feels like you're invited to ask yourself, what part of you attracted these individuals, right? And I do feel like that's the answers are going to come up for you whenever you start to do the inner work, because we are all attractors for everything, right? And you do want to attract good things, and you are worthy of good things. And it almost feels like a part of you doesn't feel that you're worthy of a good community that's supportive and that loves you and that celebrates you and wants to get to know you in a genuine, happy, nourishing way. A part of you, I feel like, exists that doesn't think that you deserve that. And that's kind of why these issues have been kind of coming up, in order to cause you to have this self-reflection, to realize and to do the work to kind of ask yourself, do I feel worthy to receive this? I've been manifesting and working so hard to receive this. Do I feel worthy? And I kind of feel like maybe you might find that a part of you doesn't feel worthy. And that's where healing needs to happen. That's where attention needs to be given. I accept that good things come easily. I am a super attractor. When good things come up for us, we do want to be ready to receive them, right? We do want to be just with open arms, like, yes, thank you so much, universe. This is exactly what I wanted. But if there's a nagging part of us that says, oh, but you don't deserve this. Oh, you didn't work hard enough. You didn't suffer enough. Then we kind of start to push these things away in ways that might show up like tension, drama, stress from other people, from ourselves, from situations. So I do sense that is kind of what's happening right now, except that good things come easily. I'm a super attractor. Work on accepting the good things that are coming into your life. Work on any belief systems that are going on within you that are keeping you from fully being in this flow of receiving, right? I kind of feel like there's a part of you that doesn't feel comfortable receiving. And I feel like maybe that's where the work needs to happen. But let me pull one card from the Trust Your Vibes deck. What does collective need to hear today? Collective need to hear today. Oh, a card that just flipped over. Laugh. Yeah, I mean, just laugh. Take it. Also, like, I feel like with this reading, it felt kind of serious, like drama, but also reflection of you, but also retreat, but also your boundaries. Do remember that life is meant to be enjoyed, right? Don't, your happiness is not going to be, I don't know, it's almost like a reminder of just laugh, do things that bring you joy. Go see a comedy show, call up a friend, just I feel like it has to do with your outlook on life, right? Life does not have to be so serious. Life does not have to have all the answers right away in order for you to be happy. Laugh at how silly people can be. Laugh at how silly we can be. Laugh at kind of like the funny parts of any situation. Like, oh, like this happened. Oh, of course this happened. Or just kind of remember to look for the joy that's outside of you, that's within you. And I kind of feel like this reading kind of felt a little bit serious. It kind of felt, I don't know, it just felt like stressful, intense. But that is how it feels whenever we're in these situations, right? Whenever we'll come up in the reading, like whenever we're in these environments that kind of feel maybe a little bit unhealthy or stressing us out or causing us to retreat or to look within or to double check or feel insecure, it does feel very, very much like life or death, right? Like we must figure it out. We have to have the answers. But laugh came up as the last card that I'm going to pull. I think is just, you know what? Relax, right? It's not that serious. Like, it does feel serious sometimes, but it's not really that serious. Like, it's fine. It's all going to be okay. I accept that good things come easily. I am a super attractor. And in the beginning of when I was shuffling, it did get like be patient card, right? Just be patient. Be patient. Answers will come. The Hermit's here. Relax. Really embody that. I feel like whenever you're in that hermit mode, you'll realize like, oh yeah, this is all pretty funny. This is all not that serious. Of course it matters, right? But it's not like, it's not like it is the, I don't know, it almost feels like it's not like the point of life. It's almost just like, you know what, laugh. It's all good. It's all going to work out. The answers will come. Yes, it's stressful sometimes, but just remember, it's all good. Laugh as much as possible. Whenever you laugh, your frequencies are raised. You're able to see things from a different perspective. You release all these feel-good hormones. So do seek laughter. I feel like that actually might help you kind of take this next step forward, right? To kind of start to see and get a new perspective. But yeah, that's it for today's reading. And thank you for showing up today. I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and move to the Reiki portion of the episode. I do suggest to lay or sit down in a comfortable position while I send you Reiki. And all that's really needed from you in order to receive it is to be open to receiving. If you would like, go ahead and choose an intention for your session. Otherwise, if you don't have an intention, just accept the Reiki, which is going to be sent for your highest good. So let's go ahead and get started, taking 3 deep breaths together. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. One more time. Inhale, hold, and exhale. I will now begin to send Reiki. With your eyes still closed, start to come back into your body, introducing movement to your fingers, your toes. Start to move in ways that feel good for you. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and start to open your eyes. Welcome back. Thank you so much for attending today's episode. I do suggest to drink water after Reiki since a lot of energy was moved. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for being here. Bye.